Greetings, YouTube universe. Welcome to Jerry's Reviews. My name is Jerry, and I do mostly audio and video reviews, but you never know what I'm going to throw in. I've been on a bit of a hiatus for the last 6 months. I haven't done any YouTube videos, just had a whole bunch of stuff going on, but all I can tell you now is
I'm back!
And what I'm doing in this video is I'm going to be discussing what makes an audiophile. Are you an audiophile? Are you not? And why? What makes someone an audiophile and what makes someone not an audiophile? Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to have a section what I call the basement of hidden gems. Now, you may listen to mainstream music all the time, the mainstream movies and what have you, and maybe you want to expand your horizons. You want to get into different music, you want to get into different artists, and what I'll be doing is making a recommendation for you to check out from the basement of hidden gems. These are, from my music collection, what I have either on music services or in my CDs, SACDs, DVD audios, and records. It's important to discuss one of the biggest misconceptions about an audiophile, and that is an audiophile has very expensive gear. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can spend $25,000 on a turntable. And in fact, I do field work. I'm an independent adjuster, and I had to go handle a claim for someone. The guy had one setup in there, actually two identical setups. I take that back. Two identical setups. Each of them was $250,000. I saw the receipts. And that's just for the amplification, very fancy CD player and a turntable. No speakers, nothing else. All tube, very classy stuff. But he wasn't an audiophile. In fact, it was very frustrating because I went into one of the rooms I had to inspect. He had 6 Macintosh 100-watt mono amplifiers and 6 Macintosh preamplifiers. I said, oh, can I hear these? Are they set up? I thought maybe he had them all hooked up together in series or something like that. No, he just liked the way the lights looked on him. Doesn't play him, just liked the way the lights looked. So an audiophile is not defined by the equipment. So let's get into what makes you not an audiophile. And I have a cheat list down here, otherwise I wouldn't remember all these. So the first thing is you're not an audiophile if you run around the house playing music from your iPhone or Android phone. You're not an audiophile then. You think Bose sound systems are great in your car or your home. They're not. So if you think they're great, you're not an audiophile. And if I step on toes here, we're just having fun. So don't get upset at me. No nasty comments in the comment section down there. Number 3, you think your AirPods sound great. Now, I got a pair here somewhere. I use them like, if I'm doing yard work and stuff like that, and I'm not that concerned about the audio quality. So what can I tell you there? Number 4, you love songs with auto-tuned voices and no real instruments. What else can I say about that? Number 5, you can have music on and hold a conversation and turn the music out, out. I can't do that. I hear music, I'm always concentrating on it, and I'm not paying attention to the conversation. Number 6, you can listen to music in your car with the windows rolled down. I can't do that. I got to have them up, air conditioner on as low as possible so the noise from the air conditioner doesn't, interfere with the music. Unfortunately, my car has Bose speakers in it, so what can I tell you? Oh yeah, number 7, you think bass is the only sound in the audio spectrum. There's mid-range and treble, just in case you didn't know. Number 8, oh, I love this one. You think $5,000 for a pair of speakers is ludicrous, ridiculous, but $50,000 to $75,000 for an SUV or more for a luxury SUV is perfectly fine. And you don't haul anything, you don't tow anything, and you have one child. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Number 9, you have what we refer to as a tin ear, and that's not your fault. Some people just can't tell the difference. I have a friend. He finally told me, he goes, Jerry, every time you play something for me, I really can't hear a difference, so I don't play anything for him anymore. That's you, Paul. Number 10, you have absolutely no interest in audio. It's just something that you don't care about. That's like me in cars. I mean, men are supposed to love cars. To me, they're a liability, they're an expense, they're a necessary evil. I just don't care about cars. I have one because I have to have one. And the last thing is, you think we're all a bunch of weirdos. Audiophiles are actually kind of a rare breed. There's not many of us out there. We are different. There's no doubt about that. But we're not weirdos. We just like our music the way we like it. So how do you know if you're an audiophile? Well, one, you're the opposite of everything I just said. Two, you try many speaker placements until you get the right sound. My speakers are bipolar speakers. They're reflective in the back. They have a mid-range and a tweeter that reflect off the back wall. And I've tried so many different placements before I got them sounding just the way I wanted them to. And believe it or not, differences in how far you take them from the back wall affect the mid-range and treble. I was really blown away at the difference in treble and mid-range response I got when I pulled them a little further from the wall. Let's see, where are we? Number 3, you've upgraded as far as you can afford. Yeah, me, I mean, you know, like I said, $50,000 to $75,000 for a Suburban or something like that. Fine, great for you. I could spend that on audio gear and just be getting started. Number 4, you have a specific listening chair. You have a chair that you listen to your music in and watch videos. And number 5, I mean, you rearrange that listening chair so that your ears are level with the tweeters and the mid-range, and you're just far enough away or close enough so you get that sweet spot. That's what we audiophiles refer to as, you know, the sweet spot. That's where, you know, the sound stage is perfect, the separation is the way you want it and stuff like that. Number 6, now I rarely argue with my wife. We've been married for 34 years, for crying out loud. But we got to get new flooring in this house. It's the original flooring. We moved in here in 2002. It's 2010, so do the math. 18 years. This is very old flooring, and she wants to put laminate in my den, and I'm not having it. I'm not having an echo chamber. It's bad enough that I can't afford bass traps and sound absorption materials, but that's another point for audiophiles later. So we are not putting laminate in my man cave. End of discussion. Number 7, you buy wire your speakers simply because you can. I did that. I honestly don't know if I can tell the difference, but it's supposed to have more dedicated output to your woofers and then a separate dedicated output to the mid-range and tweeters. Number 8, you actually sit and listen to the music. You take in the nuances, you listen to the separation, you pick apart all the different instruments. You can hear, like say you're listening to classical music, you can hear a piccolo coming out of the right side. Or if you're listening to rock, you hear how the drums are, coming through in the mix. You hear the mix, and you get to the point where you can go, that's not a very good mix, or it is a good mix. Number 9, you've convinced yourself that you are content with your current system, even though you can't afford a high-end system. I have a decent system, but it's nowhere near high-end. I mean, no way. I wish I could afford it. Ain't gonna happen in my lifetime, so there you go. Number 10, you subscribe to audiophile YouTubers. Steve Guttenberg is one that comes to mind. I think Andrew Robinson is another one. Both fantastic in their knowledge base. They just blow me away. Number 11, if you have records, you are meticulous about cleaning them. You have a special cleaning thing. You don't do it in the sink with Dawn or anything like that. You have a record cleaning device. I use the Spin Clean. It works very well for my budget anyhow. You're persnickety about making sure that the stylus is at the right pressure. I have a digital device. I put the stylus very gently on it, and if the recommended setting is 1.5 grams, it's 1.5 grams, not 1.54, 1.55. It's 1.5 grams. I just get that way about it. You want the anti-skating right. And you can also tell the difference between cartridges, and you use different cartridges for the different sound signatures that they produce. Number 12, you want a dedicated room with bass traps, sound absorption material, ideally a soundproof room, but again, that ain't going to happen here. You don't see that up on my walls, and you see my guitars and my drum set, guitars, drum set. You know, that kind of stuff is just not going to happen here. Yeah, regarding Bose again. You believe, if you're an audiophile, that Bose stands for Buy Other Sound Equipment. Bose is great at marketing, making you think you got, you know, some really high-end audio gear. It's caca. Anyhow, you're also an audiophile if you can hear the difference between a half-speed mastered LP and the normal pressing of the same LP. I can tell the difference. What can I tell you? You also know you're an audiophile if you buy a 4K Blu-ray player primarily for the audio functions. The one I bought has a separate output for the audio, a separate output for the video, which is actually necessary because I don't have a surround sound amp and an AV receiver that has 4K pass-through. And I like the idea that I can separate it. This unit also will play my SACDs, DVD audios, Blu-ray audios, and it will up-convert CDs to near high-res quality. And last but not least, number 16 here, basically you can tell the difference. If you can't tell the difference, like we went through about what you're not an audio, if you're not an audiophile, then it makes never mind. There's no sense in getting into this. You have to have the ears to hear the difference. So, on to the basement of hidden gems. And one person you might want to check out here, her name is Sugar Pie DeSanto, and it's from her album In the Basement, and the song is I Want to Know. Not I want to know, I want to know. It is available on Apple Music, Amazon Music, Spotify, Tidal, Hi-Fi, and Pandora. How do I know? I have all 5 services because I'm an audiophile. What can I tell you? So that's pretty much it. And in closing, I just have to say,
I'll be back.
All right, thank you very much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.